I've got a system that I use to make sure I keep my keyring as small as possible, but also always have everything I need on it. I use 5 key guiding principles for my keychain to make sure that that happens. And in this video, I'm going to run through those 5 key principles, as well as go through a lot of the products that I've reviewed in the last 12 months to make sure that the keyring I have does absolutely everything that I need it to do. How's it going, folks? My name's Marcus and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here on this channel, I talk about EDC, technology, and anything that can help me live a happier, balanced, more productive life. So here are my 5 guiding principles or criteria for creating the perfect keychain. 1. I need to be able to fasten my keys to me. 2. I need to be able to find my keys when I inevitably lose them somewhere. 3. I need to have a multi-tool and a flashlight on my keychain. 4. I want to be able to keep them as small as possible. And 5. Make everything awesome. So let's get started with the first one. Being able to fasten my keys to me. I'm not a fan of having my keys just in my pocket, and everything that I carry with me every day has a place in my jeans or in my pockets. The runner-up for this for me this year, the one that I used a lot of the time, was the Noah Marion Quality Goods. They're a leather goods company. He makes these little custom brass connectors, these keys that fit on your jeans, and I used this for a long time, and it's pretty dinged up, as you can see here. Believe it or not, I actually ended up, I think I paid $60 for this. These are not cheap. They're bespoke, custom little key holders, and I loved it for a while. I like that it slips on your belt. You can just pop it in, pop it out. But ultimately, I did actually prefer better ways of doing this. The next runner-up, and the thing that I used actually for most of the year this year, and you would have seen it in my EDC video from last year, is this Night Eyes lanyard clip. I love these. These are not for rock climbing. It says so on the packaging, but these are great. They last forever. They wear beautifully. They patina, and it's really easy to clip on your belt buckle and clip off again. And I think that these are a really good buy if you're looking for one. However, my newest one is something that came from Orbit Key. This is called the Orbit Key Clip V2. Why is this so special? Well, similar to the others, it does have a clip that I can clip it onto my jeans, but the magic thing about this is that by pulling on the tab, it releases from it. So instead of having to reach down and find where the clip is to get your keys off all the time, you literally just pull down on this little bit of a leather strap on it and take your keys away with you. And then when you're snapping it back on again, it's really satisfying. It's got really great magnets. If you're worried that, oh, that's going to fall off when it's hanging on your pocket, it really doesn't. It's good and solid. There's no giving it in any way. They're attached unless you pull it in that very specific direction and you can clip your keys off. I love this. I haven't been using it for a long time, which is why it's in such great condition. I just got it recently, but this might be my new clip to replace my Night Eyes lanyard clip that I've been using for so long. Which brings me on to the second guiding principle. I need to be able to find my keys when I inevitably lose them. So for the longest time, I used the tile trackers. Everybody knows about these. You clip them on your keyring, you use the tile app on your phone to be able to find your keys. It makes a little noise when you're nearby. It will tell you if you're not near enough by, and it will show you on a map when it was last seen. So really, really good tile trackers. But I did know as soon as Apple released their AirTag system, I was going to switch over to it immediately, and I love these. I have something like 15 or 16 of them. You get 4 for $100, and I use them in packing cases, on all my different keys for my different vehicles. I've got these on everything, and they're pretty fantastic, to be honest with you. There is one hybrid kind of honorable mention. This comes from Chipolo. They are similar to Tile. They have their own tracking system and their own app. I've not used this one myself, and this one was sent to me for me to review. One of the nice things about this is maybe not this specific device, but they do have devices that connect to the Apple ecosystem. So if you really want to be on the same Find My system to find your things with Apple, you can actually use third parties now. They've been opened up, and Chipolo have some devices, so worth looking into if you're considering doing something like that. Which brings me on to the third section. Must have a multi-tool and a flashlight. Let's talk about the flashlights first. So the first one up is this one. It's the Prometheus Lights Beta Quick Release. So it's copper. I love it because it's going to age beautifully over time, and there's 3 light options. So when I turn it on once, it's got it turns on with 1 lumen, which lasts for 55 hours but is totally useless. If I hit it a second time, I think it goes to 15 lumens, and if I hit it a third time, it goes up to about 90. So it's a significant flashlight, enough to be able to see all around you. Really great. It's beefy and heavy. One of the great things about it that I love is that it's a quick release, which you can pop it off your keyring and you can have it in your hand if you want to keep your keychain on you, and then pop it back on again when you're done. The nice thing about this, if you've seen my other videos, I'm a big fan of these Prometheus quick release copper rings, and I've got a few of them, and I'm going to talk about these a little bit more later on in this video. But ultimately this is a little bit too big, even though it's awesome with the quick release, a little bit too big to have in my keys for me. So a smaller and maybe better option that you could use is the Olight i3E EOS. So this flashlight is just a twist on and it turns on immediately to 90 lumens. So a bright little flashlight for the size of it. It's much smaller than the Prometheus, and I'd argue something that maybe you wouldn't notice as much on your keyring. This is something that I would carry on my keychain. It's about the right size, but what if there was something smaller and a little more awesome? And that's where this one comes in. So this is the Olight iMini. It's absolutely tiny. It fits on my keychain, and one of the things I love about it is how it activates. You just pull on it, it comes off, it lights up straight away. It's only 10 lumens. It only runs for about 45 minutes at 10 lumens, and then you have to change the battery, which is a bit of a pain. But for how often I use it, just to check something that's fallen on the floor, 10 lumens is bright enough. And for how super cool that is, I love this, and this is going to live on my keychain. So that's it for the flashlights. But what about the multi-tool? Well, for me, and I've done a video on this, and probably no surprise for people who watch my previous videos, the Victorinox Alox Mini Champ is the only one for me. I think this is the ultimate knife, and I will have a link here to my previous video, which goes into full description on why I think this is the only thing you need. Which brings me on to the fourth part. Make it as small as possible. So you could have everything. You could have a giant clip to your pants, a flashlight, a multi-tool that does absolutely everything, all your keys, and you'd end up with something like this. These are legitimately, these are the keys to all my vehicles and all the things that I need. But I don't want to have something like that. I want to have something much smaller. So the first thing I do is I remove keys wherever I can. So for my garage here, for doors where I can have pin lock entry, or if I can have remote entry, I have them on the house here, which means I only actually need one key for my house in total, and that's only in as emergency backup. The other keys I have are for things like presses, dressers, lockers, things where I store away equipment like my tools, my cameras, when I lock up at nighttime, to make sure that they're a little bit more secure. So what I do with every set of keys that I have is, on my main keyring, I put a male part, which is this Prometheus copper connector, and then with everything else, I put a female connector. So this is my Vespa key. My Vespa key gets its own, it's a Vespa 300, it gets its own air tag, and when I do need to use it with my keychain, I will just connect it like that. I'm not bringing everything with me, I'm just bringing the Vespa with me, so I'll connect it on it when I leave the house that morning. Geez, that's hard to get apart. Or if I'm bringing my GSA, I've got a bigger BMW motorcycle, I'll connect that one for the day. This one has some additional stuff on it, like this remove before flight, because I really don't want to lose these keys, and when I'm in my cumbersome motorcycle gear, it's easier to get these out of my pocket with this. So it has more stuff on it, so it kind of breaks the rule on everything being super minimal. Using these little connectors means I only ever need to carry with me the keys I need for the vehicle I'm in. So I have this core set of keys which I carry with me and are on me all the time, and as I leave the house, I augment them with whatever vehicle I'm deciding to take with me at that time. So for those core set of keys, I want to be able to keep those together, keep them minimal, and make them like not jingle around all the time. And one of the things that I initially started with was a Key Smart key lock. So one of these Key Smarts, I think most people know about them. They work kind of like a penknife. You put your keys on them, they fold in and out, you just flip them in and out. And I had bought this years ago. This was kind of the first time, certainly that I was aware of this kind of gadget being available for your keys. And I liked it for a long time, but it was a little bit too long. It was a little bit cumbersome. It's a little bit plastically, you know, not just wasn't enough. It didn't feel kind of premium enough for me, which is what got me onto the Orbit Key Active Key Organizer. Now this is premium. I absolutely love this. This is leather. You can put your keys in it. They've got several kind of multi-tools you can use with it. This one here is a pry bar and a screwdriver and a bottle opener or whatever you might have with it as a multi-tool. I don't like having multi-tools as part of my key set, but they've got lots that can go with it as accessories. They also have like extender bars. If you want to put a big chunk of keys on, you can make this much thicker, and it's really versatile. I use this for my spare set of keys, and I use my spare set of keys if I'm going to something where I'm dressed up a little bit. If I'm wearing a jacket to something, if I'm going to something a little bit more fancy where I want something a little bit more minimal, just to keep my keys in that I'm going to need and have it in my pocket without it being dangling out the back of my pants. This is the key organizer I'll bring with me. Super premium, and they have a bunch of other cool ones which I definitely want to get. If you're into Star Wars, they've got Obi-Wan Kenobi or Darth Vader ones at the moment. One of the ones that I want to get is a Boba Fett printed one. So if you like that, if you like Star Wars and you like this kind of classy look, definitely check that out. I'll have a link in the description below so that you can have a look at those. But the one I landed on is even more minimal. I've gone for the Smart Key Mini, and I love this. This is a really simple shackle, kind of a rubber band that goes through your keys. It's enough to be able to keep my 5 keys together. I've taped these because some people say on the internet if you don't tape them up, people can see your keys and they can break into your house. I think that's a little overprotective, but I did it for this video nonetheless. But I've got this smart key mini shackle, and it's fantastic. It's tiny, it stops my keys from jingling. It's about as minimal as you can get for something like this, and I've been really happy with this, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. Which brings me on to the fifth point: make everything awesome. So it's the combination of everything together that makes this the perfect keychain for me. It's clipped onto my belt, but I can easily quick release it away when I need to use it, and clip it back on again super easy with some magnets, and it's super strong in place. I can find my keys using an app that I really like and trust. The air tags are fantastic, Apple does things well, and I really like them. If I drop something and I need my flashlight, it's just a simple pull without taking off the rest of my keys, and I think that just by snapping that back in, it's super versatile. If I do need to extend my keys to do something else, if I'm going out on my motorcycle, it's just using the Prometheus clip just to be able to put things together. Having the Key Smart Mini is really great, stops my keys from jangling together. And having the best pocket tool, the Victorinox Alux, makes this the ultimate minimalist small keychain for me and serves everything that I needed to do, and I'm really happy with it. All the products I talk about in this video are linked in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck.